Something extraordinary has already happened to you, and you didn't even feel it when it occurred. In the last several months, a force beyond human comprehension quietly intervened in your story. Your name, which had been carried through rooms you never entered, whispered in conversations you never heard, was suddenly surrounded by an invisible shield. The weight of every false accusation, every misunderstood motive, every unfair judgment, it didn't just slow down. It stopped completely, as if the universe itself placed its hand over your narrative and said, "Enough. This one is protected. This one is mine." In thousands of years of recorded spiritual history, there exists no greater cosmic rarity than a soul who endures false judgment and chooses silence over retaliation. Ancient texts speak of it. Mystery schools whispered about it. Entire civilizations built temples trying to understand why certain souls, when crushed by the weight of misrepresentation, do not break. They purify. What happened to you has no ordinary explanation. The spiritual architecture required to hold your character intact while your reputation was being dismantled around you is something that cannot be manufactured. It is coded into a lineage far older than this lifetime. Think back to a moment, not long ago, when you were standing at a crossroads. Someone gave you the opportunity to lie, to exaggerate, to shade the truth just slightly in your favor. The situation was pressure-filled. The easier path was right there. But something inside you, quiet, firm, almost stubborn, refused. You chose honesty when dishonesty would have been invisible. You chose integrity when compromise would have been convenient. That single decision, which felt small and personal, echoed through dimensions you cannot yet see. It was not just a moral choice, it was a signal, and the universe received it clearly. You were never moving through this season unobserved. While you thought you were navigating confusion alone, while the silence felt like abandonment, there were eyes on you. Not human eyes, but ancient ones. Forces that predate religion, that existed before the first prayer was ever spoken, were tracking your every response. When betrayal came, they watched how you handled it. When your name was dragged, they recorded your restraint. Even your private moments, when you chose not to send that message, when you swallowed that anger, when you protected someone who never protected you. Every one of those moments was documented in a record that cannot be altered or erased. There were tests, and you passed every single one. There was the moment someone took credit for your work, and you said nothing publicly, yet continued producing at the same level. There was the season people stopped checking on you, and instead of shrinking, you quietly sharpened. There was the relationship where you gave generously and received very little, yet your character never cheapened itself into bitterness. There was the day your reputation was openly questioned, and you let your actions speak across months instead of defending yourself in a single moment. Each test was designed to expose weakness. Instead, they exposed something rare, someone who could not be corrupted. In the halls of higher consciousness, there is a classification system that most humans never encounter. Souls are observed, assessed, and categorized based not on their gifts or their talents, but on what they do when no one is watching and when everything is being taken. You have been placed in the rarest category, not because you are perfect, but because you are dangerous to darkness. You are the kind of soul that cannot be permanently defeated, manipulated into abandoning your values, or broken into becoming something lesser. That classification carries weight. It activates things. It opens doors that remain sealed to those who compromise when pressure arrives. There is a moment described across every major spiritual tradition. A moment when the divine turns its full attention toward a single soul and bears witness. Not in judgment, in recognition. What was witnessed in your case was a human being choosing, repeatedly, and without applause, to remain truthful and decent, while the world around them told a different story. God, or whatever name you use for the highest intelligence in existence, did not look away. The archangels, the ancestors, the cosmic record keepers, all of them present, all of them silent. because what they were watching required no commentary. Your life spoke with a clarity that transcended language, and so a decree was issued, not announced with thunder or written across the sky, but activated quietly inside the fabric of your reality. The kind of decree that rearranges timelines, that redirects conversations happening about you in rooms where you are absent, that causes people who once doubted you to pause, reconsider, and feel something shift in their understanding of who you actually are. This decree does not ask for your permission because it was already earned. It simply begins executing, moving people, circumstances, and opportunities into alignment with the truth of your character, dismantling the false architecture that was built around your name, brick by brick, silently and permanently. You are not who they said you were. You are not the version of yourself that confusion and betrayal temporarily convinced you to believe in during the hardest seasons. You are an ancient soul, one that has carried the assignment of integrity across more than one lifetime, more than one chapter, more than one form. The celestial warrior in you is not someone you become. It is someone you are remembering. The armor was never removed. It was simply waiting for the battles that would prove you are still willing to wear it. Your willingness to suffer honestly rather than succeed dishonestly is the signature of a soul that was forged in something eternal. Your mission has never been about being famous or widely celebrated. It has always been about anchoring something the world is desperately losing: the understanding that character is permanent and reputation is temporary. You were placed in specific environments, specific relationships, specific conflicts, not as punishment, but as placement, precisely positioned so that your consistency would become a living demonstration. People around you needed to see what it looks like to move with integrity when it costs something. They needed to witness a human being who did not trade their soul for comfort. That demonstration is your assignment, and you have been fulfilling it even without knowing its full scope. Because the decree has been activated, the material world is beginning to reorganize around your truth. Opportunities that were delayed are now approaching. Relationships that were meant for your next chapter are being arranged. Financial patterns that were stuck are beginning to shift because the blockages were never about strategy. They were about timing, and the timing required your character to be fully established first. People in positions of influence are beginning to think of you without knowing exactly why. Doors are opening, not because of luck, but because the universe rewards those whose inner world and outer actions have finally become the same thing: aligned, clean, and consistent. Your restoration does not stay contained to your own life. It radiates. As your name is cleared and your true character becomes visible, something happens to everyone watching. Even those who doubted you begin to question their own relationship with integrity. Your comeback is not just personal, it is instructional. People in your circle, some of whom you will never directly speak to about this, will make better choices because they witnessed yours. They will choose honesty in their own difficult moments because they saw what choosing honesty looked like across a long and uncomfortable season. You are not just being restored. You are becoming a reference point for others navigating their own silent battles. You are not alone in this activation. Across every city, every country, every time zone, there are thousands of souls going through the same restoration process right now. People who endured misrepresentation and chose character over cleverness, patience over retaliation, truth over temporary victory. A global network of integrity holders is coming online simultaneously, each one anchoring something essential in their own environment. You are part of a collective force that most people cannot see yet, but that is already reshaping the moral architecture of the world. When your restoration becomes fully visible, it will connect you, naturally, divinely, to others whose frequency matches yours. Your people are being prepared and positioned. If this message reached something real inside you, do not let it pass through quietly. Leave a comment with 777. It is the signal between restored souls, the number of divine completion, and truth finally surfacing. Share this with someone whose name has been misunderstood, whose character has been questioned unfairly, whose patience deserves to be honored with a reminder that the universe keeps accurate records. Subscribe and stay close, because what is coming next in this series was built for exactly where you are right now. And if you stayed until this final word, that itself is confirmation. The ones who needed this never leave before the end,